Hi. One of the key skills that executives should have is something called sensory acuity. Now, what is sensory acuity? Have you ever had the situation where you're sitting down with someone and you're talking and you said something and the facial expression changed and you sense that, hey, you know what, I think something that I said went wrong or something that I said went right, and you start noticing this minor subtle changes. This is an ability. It takes time to develop it, but we call this sensory acuity. The ability to be sensitive to the surrounding, to read the surrounding, to look for the minor subtle differences, subtle changes in people's facial expression, and to tell whether are you in the right direction and are you in the wrong direction. The question is, how do you develop it? Now, one is, it takes time. It takes time to develop this. Over years of experience of dealing with people, you'll slowly start developing this. But how do we start to make this go quickly? How do you develop this faster? You may be in a sales situation, or you're meeting up a prospective customer and you are talking to a prospective customer and you want to say the right things and you want to say it so that it just makes them flow in a certain way. And if you do not want to say something that makes them flow in the wrong direction, and then you realize that it's a bit too late. So the ability to read this will be coming very handy for anyone who is actually in a business situation. So how do you develop this? There's two ways on how you can do it. One is actually through seeking active feedback. Now, what do we mean by that? Is actually to start asking people about how they felt, about how the way you communicated to them, and stop your friend or stop your colleague or your superior or even your subordinate and ask them, you know what, the other day when I was telling you this thing, do you feel I was a bit rude, or do you feel I said the right thing? Let me know if I'm saying something in a wrong way. Did I tick you off and all? Now, being Asian, sometimes people are not going to be very truthful, and even if something is wrong, they're going to say, no, everything is right. But you know what? The very fact that you have asked them and them telling you stuff, you're already reading facial expressions. You're already developing that skill of sensory acuity. Ask for feedback. There are going to be some people who are going to be very honest with you, and they're going to tell you that, yeah, you know what, maybe you should tone down a little bit here. A good mentor will be able to help you in that area. Talk to your superior, talk to your friends, and actively ask this feedback. Talk to your children. They'll be very, very truthful to you. And if they felt that what you said was not right, they're going to tell it to you. Children nowadays are going to be very open, and they're very open in telling people what they really feel. That's the first way. The second way is actually through self-reflection. Spend moments to reflect on your own actions and your own behavior. Do it before going to bed, or do it while you're driving home. After a long day, start looking at the entire day as a movie, as though you're watching a movie, and this entire day passed in front of you. And as you observe the thing, just stay as an observer. Look at the entire day as an observer. And what happens is that when you're staying as an observer, you will start to become a critic of it. Your subconscious, deep down, there is an intelligence within you that will tell you when you observe. It will tell you that, you know what, maybe you should go and check with that person again. I had one experience where I was talking to a client, and there was something that I said over the phone that I was not sure if I said the right thing to them. And I waited for about a day, and something just, as I was reflecting, and something told me that, you know what, maybe you should just call and clear the air. And I called the person later, and I called and I asked them that, you know what, the other day that I told you this, I hope I did not sound this way, or did it take you off in a sort of, I apologize for that. And the client said, hey, no, you know what, we really appreciate the fact that you're very open to us, and you're just telling us the right thing. And that will actually help. The reflection actually tells you, your inner intelligence will guide you to tell whether what you're saying is right or not right. And the more you do the self-reflection, you notice the self-reflection starts, the period between the action and the reflection becomes shorter and shorter. And one day when your skill of sensory acuity skills gets better, what you will notice is that your awareness becomes very sharp, that the moment you're saying it, you're also self-aware about what you're saying. and you will be able to catch yourself if you're saying something in the right way or wrong way. And you may be able to do a presentation, say something, and immediately gauge from the audience, you know what, I think I'm not connecting with him, let me change my next line. And you'll start developing this skill. And it's a very useful skill, and it's a very easy thing to develop, but it takes time, but I'm sure it's possible.